Did you stretch too?
Oh, you know it. Just a big old, yep, yeah.
Hello, everyone. Hi. Axel, say hi.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, it's the Kid, coming at you live. That is my intro. I don't know why. I did it one day, and now I just do it every time.
Isn't it adorable, you guys? Isn't it so funny and adorable? Hi, my name is Lilybell. I love to travel, but I suck at geography. And today, Axel is reteaching me how to play simple games.
Ooh, let's go. This is something we've never done before. We have never played this game together on stream as a collab.
Yeah, we definitely have not done it twice before either, right?
Right. That would be weird if we did.
I have to be honest though, if we did do it like 3 times in general, it would be, you know, it would make sense. They're good games.
Yeah, I mean, comedy comes in 3s, so if we were to do it 3 times, that might be funny.
Deaths also come in 3s. Did you know that?
Sorry, what does?
Death.
You know what? That's true. Let me think. Amelia Watson.
Oh man! Wow! Hold on, DC4 is not boarding. Welcome to Lilybell Air. Hope you have a safe and enjoyable flight. Who else? Go ahead. I want to hear
There's this one streamer that I like. Lava. I don't remember her name.
Okay. Who's the third?
Yeah, I don't know. We have to wait and see.
Wow, there's actually a couple of people, apparently. It's so funny because a bunch of people were sending the other like hiatus or graduation announcements to me, and they're like, are you guys in cahoots? And I'm like, no, I don't think we're even mutuals. All right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Carvesa Crystal. Hi. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna do a tarot card real quick.
What would happen if I did this?
You are cut off by the head because I did not expect you to get tall. Do you want me to you know?
Well, also, my suit becomes kind of see-through. Let me see here.
No, it's not. It looks good for me.
It's all right.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's good. It's fine.
Yeah. Oh, too far.
Oh. I might have to.
Wait,
just good enough. No, just good enough. You're good. Just good enough. You're fine. See that? I just did it.
Wow.
Alrighty, Carvesa, this is a general card pull for you. And then I think because we're doing collab, we should pause it if you can. And also chat says, please, I would appreciate that. Probably should. No, honestly, if you guys pull end stream, that's fine. I'll just continue on to Axel's. Oh, it's the High Priestess in reverse. Axel, do you want a tarot reading?
I'm never going to ask for one, but if you pull one for me, then I won't deny.
Interesting. Okay, well, let's go. Carvesa, you got the High Priestess in reverse, so some key words would be repression of intuition, blocked psychic powers, uncontrolled outbursts and sexual tension, lack of self-belief, and unwanted attention. It seems like you're kind of just holding you back from your instincts. They're trying to guide you with your instincts, and your instincts are correct. You also may be more focused on other people's opinions or other people's approval and wisdom, but neglecting your own. You need to listen to yourself. Oh, that's interesting. You need to listen to yourself out here, okay? There you go. My first reverse, I know. I'm flabbergasted with Axel and his legs. What the hell? Yeah.
There you go.
You're in fear? Are you in fear? Yeah, well, you know what? Better start listening to yourself, Carvesa. I am going to hold on to this for myself because this got pulled. So 6 of Cups. All right, and then before we start, we'll do Axel's too. Also, Axel, you want to talk about a little bit about our friendship?
In what regard?
Yeah, just, you know, how long we've known each other and, well, when we started being closer.
Yeah, I would love to.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Lily and I first met because we were both in a group for like VTubers who were going to team up. It didn't work out. And so, I was there for a bunch of the early streams. And then, like, she started getting really into, like, Destiny and streaming super late at night for me, and my job was really demanding, so I kind of fell off after a bit. And then one day, I see a tweet, and Lily's like, I'm gonna learn about Chris Chan. And I'm like, I'm in. Let's do it. And I haven't left since.
You sicko. Because of Christian?
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because it wasn't even me like, oh, I want to see her reaction. And originally it was, I also want to know more about Chris Chan because I'm familiar with Chris Chan. I'd heard of Chris, but I didn't really know much.
Really?
So,
really?
Yeah, like I knew about the GameStop incident and I knew about Sonichu, but like that was the extent of my knowledge. So it was a wild roller coaster learning about all that stuff.
Yeah, I used to stream pretty late at night. I do remember that.
Yeah, like I would come in and say hi every now and then then just go to bed.
Yeah, it was funny too, because like before you guys knew about like the Geek Squad or the Geek Team or the Geek Squad, I can't remember their exact ones, or like Mofongo Boys or something. We actually did something like that back in 2020, like out the womb of EN VTubing, like as literally at that time. There was still not, I do this all the time because people don't really understand how long it's been around, right? But it was before Hollow Myth came out, like before Gargora was a whole thing. Like we came up with the idea of, it was called the Kokoro group?
Project Kokoro.
Project Kokoro. And it was actually held by somebody else who, it was started and helmed by somebody who actually was the person who was like my first friend in VTubing. And it just didn't pan out just because we didn't know what we wanted. And so everybody was like, okay, well, I thought it was like this. I thought it was just like a group of friends chilling. I did not know that we were trying to do like a thing. And it was hard enough just being an EN VTuber at that time. You know what I mean? Just trying to figure out your own space.
And like a bunch of people who people in the chat might know were part of that group, like Raynami, for example.
Yeah. Raynami was.
Yoro
Yo was, yeah. Let's see.
A lot of people.
Leighton. Renaleaf. A couple of people. Yeah. Oh, Whitey.
Oh yeah.
Whitey definitely was. Yeah, really interesting. Yeah, so that's how we now you know why like some of us became friends. Nordic was. I Nordic, think. Yeah, sure. Maybe.
Oh yeah, Light, my wife.
She Light, of course. No, I actually don't remember if Nordic was. But Nordic, yeah, maybe, probably. Nordic, Saturn, I think at that time.
For sure.
Souls. Saturn, Souls, and Nordic were friends. I remember they had like a collab, and oh man, that was so long ago. It feels like it's like a whole other lifetime. Anyways, okay, Axel, this is your general card.
All right.
King of Swords in reverse. So
give me that psychic damage. Let's go.
Yeah, real. Some keywords: lack of structure or routine, intelligence used in a bad way, irrational, oppressive, illogical. Basically, imagine kind of a dictator and kind of just losing your head and having like bad judgment or being judgmental. It can represent the lack of structure or routine or self-discipline. Alternatively, it can also represent being power hungry or a tyrant. It signifies a lack of logic and reason. It can describe in person, just describe a mature male who can be kind of cold, or cynical or sarcastic. Yeah, so I would just kind of say, someone who's intelligent and talkative, but like kind of is negative possibly. But it seems more just like maybe, being a little less, having more structure and routine, and being a little less driven by emotion and a little bit more by logic. Maybe.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. Didn't like
Yeah.
how that started out. Then I got confused as it went along. But, cool.
It is what it is. That's how. I mean, like that's
It is
that's what it is. It's like the key words are what you want to make of them. Truly, how you interpret them is how you want to, right?
Yeah. I don't know about that using intelligence for evil thing. Like that's got to be someone else, not
Yeah,
me doing
there's not
it.
right. It's not always necessarily about you, right? Like it could just be like possibly a figure coming into your life that kind of portrays this also. And that's why they mention like as a person, they could show up as like a mature male who's a little cold or sarcastic.
Ah.
Alrighty. Now that we've gone down the nostalgia road.
Yes, I also want to say one thing before we get going. I didn't forget my wife. I think about my wife 24/7, which is why when I'm like listing names, I don't mention her because she's like
She's naturally
in my
already
head,
there.
yeah, she's already there. I'm like I don't have to pull up her name because it's just sitting there.
For me, I felt like literally like it would have just come up. I mean, I feel like, you know, y'all could just assume that light, you know, that light was
Yeah.
in it. I felt like that was, you know, I
Yeah,
felt like that was
no,
pretty obvious. Just assume, just, you know. That's so funny. Yeah, okay. Let's go.
Yeah. All right, let's hop in.
Let's hop in. Online. Play with friends. Create. Is it like create a lobby?
Do
No,
you
can
wanna
I
create or do
choose?
you wanna-
No, I want you to create. Is that cool?
Okay. All right, go to choose. Did you go to choose?
Oh no, I not yet. Sorry. I thought that you were still creating it.
No, it was instantaneous.
Wow, Axel Steele. Who the fuck is that?
I don't know that guy.
Ready? Let's do it.
Random guy. What? Huh? Hmm?
Who? Who?
All right. So chess
Moncalas-
first.
Uh-huh.
Chess first.
Ha 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 ha. Good one. Good one. Okay.
Yeah. What game you want?
Let's do Mancala. It's a good warm-up game.
All right. All right.
You have to teach me Yahtzee again, actually. I don't remember it.
Oh, I'm still thinking about the time you got a perfect Yahtzee.
Hell yeah, I did. Wink. Okay, I remember how to play this. Don't worry. Well, let's do this. Let's do this.
Lay.
Play. Am I a person 1 or person 2?
I think you're 2 since I created.
Okay, real.
Axel Steele is the guy from Guitar Hero. Correct, Professor Dev. That is literally where I got the name from. Well done.
I'm like, am I counting properly? This is the time where I'm like, shit.
Let's see then.
Hmm. Unfortunate. I'm okay with this.
Can't all be winners.
Yeah, I'm okay with this. I'm okay with the choices I've made in my life. Sometimes.
Hmm.
Obviously, not all the time.
Yeah, you made a good choice there.
I always make good choices. What are you talking about?
You literally, you know what? That's fine.
What do you mean? I always make good choices.
It's not like you literally just said I don't always make the right choice or anything. That's
What?
what?
That sounds like blaspheme. What?
Do not blaspheme. A fun fact, chat. I once made a short for Lilybell that straight up used a clip from Doctor Who, and she said no.
Really?
Yeah,
What was it?
it was something about like Church of Lilybell, and then it cuts to the Daleks going, "Do not blaspheme," or I don't remember entirely.
It's actually funny too because I don't know. I did watch Doctor Who, you guys. I watched Doctor Who and I went to like the 50th and the 50th in theaters. I dressed up, like I did the whole damn thing. I was a fan. And I only stopped at 12 because I didn't like Clara anymore.
Really?
Mm-hmm. But the other funny thing is, the other funny thing is, I actually also hated Amy Pond. I hated her. And I still like at least grit my teeth to watch, right? But I couldn't with Clara. There was nobody to help me lower it. I don't know. I feel like at least during like 11, there was Rory and there was River, you know what I mean? But with Clara, it was like there was nobody to help me lessen the dislike of Clara. Oh, thanks, Jay. Hi, Bob. How are you?
Oh, that was a rough game. Oh my god. Yeah, for me, I was not a fan of just Capaldi in general.
I see. Damn.
Yeah.
Sorry, just real quick. Damn.
Yeah, that. Yep, that's sure a thing.
Wow.
So we're just gonna go again, right?
Do you want to go again?
I do. That was bad.
Okay. Sure. It's a warm up.
Oh, that's not
10
what I
had
meant
the
to
best
do with Aurea.
companions. Yeah, of course 10 had the best. I mean, 10's was like
10 was
ideal.
The best.
Yeah, 10 is ideal. 10 and is ideal.
Yeah. Did you know that he is the
Wait,
son-in-law
actually?
of the 5th Doctor?
Yes, I did know that.
Oh. Oh, 14.
What?
Yeah, he's 10 and 14.
Oh, right. Don't do this to me. Don't say anything. Don't say anything, y'all.
Oh, are you going to catch up?
I will at some point, okay?
Okay. Yeah, I actually forced myself to catch up. Cuz like I had completely skipped well, no, I hadn't skipped. I got like 2 or 3 episodes into what's her face as the Doctor?
I know who you're talking about.
But I can't remember her name.
Me neither. I wouldn't know because I don't anymore.
Yeah, but it was like okay, we got a new showrunner, we got, new this, new that, and I'm watching with Light, and we were tired of the fact that people died every episode, like, because it used to be, sure, people were dying, but like they were like, we're gonna kill off big characters, and like right in the first episode there's this grandma, and it's like she dies, and like, that's not okay.
Yeah, it was only like, yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. How many doctors are there? 15 right now. But that's only the numbered doctors. Okay, let's see. Alright, I feel pretty good with that. Lily is locked in.
It's hard for me to do anything without, like, anything regarding math, I need to shut up. Otherwise, I can't do shit. You can, like, see my face. I'm, like, counting, like...
Yeah, I do. Hey, chat, what's your favorite Lilybell math moment? I know mine.
Oh my god.
Well,
This just doesn't add up. You're so right.
they do look tasty, Don.
Capture.
No!
I thought Lily was Asian. Yeah, I am Asian. Why, Carvesa? What do you have to say about that?
Capture.
Yeah, what's the connection? I don't follow.
Yeah, what does that have to do with anything?
Kind of weird you would say that. I don't know.
Or what reason? Yeah, that's crazy, actually. Thank you for Fix Your Posture. Appreciate it. Ooh, this will be an interesting game.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. There's a stereotype that Asians are all good at math. Okay, well, you said that out loud. All right, that's cool. I mean, yeah, that is a stereotype. You're right. You're right.
Okay, when Lily does it.
It's okay when I do it, because I'm Asian.
Right.
It's okay.
Oh, this is my favorite movement. Yes.
Yeah, you're gonna eat that bitch up. I feel like. Oh, are you?
I am not. I just realized
you are
the downfall.
not. You're not. Damn. Woo!
Capture.
All right.
I thought Lily was a VTuber. Yeah, all VTubers are Asian. Did you not know that?
Thank you, Lady J.
Are you trying to tell me? Are you trying to tell me the person name with an obviously Japanese name is not always Asian? What? That's insane.
Huh.
Have you heard about this one woman? There's a girl who's what is it? There's a girl who had this whole long thing about Bruno Mars and his like appropriation of a certain culture, right? And she's from that culture, which is not Asian. But you know what she calls herself? She calls herself like Sakura Tiffany or something like that. And I was like, wait a minute. You can't just call somebody out saying some shit like that only for your name to end up being fucking Sakura, my dude.
Yeah. It's a bit of a double standard.
Ooh, nice.
Just made. Okay, I feel better.
Yeah.
Was-
That works.
Yeah,
Good job.
Good.
Best of 3 works, sure.
All right,
And then we can best of 3 like every game until we get to chess, then it's over.
Hell yeah.
Hi, Azur. Hi, everyone. Yeah, exactly. I definitely did not think that was chill. I was like, that was a little... It's a little, picky, you know?
Yeah. I keep forgetting that I get to go again after that. Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
We get some wow.
Is this out of
in the
3?
chat.
It's out of 3, yeah.
It is now.
Huh.
Capture.
Neat. I didn't even intend that.
Nice. Good one.
Yeah. The game is very simple. My store is on one side, and Lily's store is on the other side, and you've got to get
He
pieces.
has more stars, or he has more pieces.
Yeah. And you go around the board. If you land in an empty space on your side, you get to collect whatever's opposite it. If you land in your own store, then you get to go again.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's the whole game.
Hmm. Wait. I have to take my finger and just like. Yeah.
Oh, poor Lily.
Why? Oh, I didn't even notice. Oh, good one.
Hmm.
You did good. You did good.
We'll find out. I only have a few pieces on my side.
Oh, it's my turn.
Yee.
Well, then I'll keep it that way. Beach. No, I'm just kidding.
Good luck.
I know. More than likely, it's not going to do that. I have very little amounts, so more than likely you'll be fine.
Wow, both of those moves will do the exact same thing.
Hmm.
No, my 1-2-1. My combo is ruined.
Your combo is ruined. Unfortunate. Smart man. Smart cake. I saw that.
Big brain.
Oh, you just have way too many options. There's no way I'm gonna let that happen. Well, probably. I don't know. I mean,
Okay,
they're all gonna
alright.
go over on your side anyways, I suppose.
Not for long. They will not be on my side for long.
That's what you think, but you have a couple of options.
Oh, the game is about to end.
Yeah, the game is ending. Oh, you won.
Wow.
Unless I drag it on. But if I drag it on, it doesn't really do anything anyways. Does it?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like you just end up getting fewer pieces than you could have before.
Well, let's find out.
All right.
I mean, we already know I would have lost, right? So let's see what would... Okay, yeah, that probably is it. Yep, that's true. Did it. Oh. Oh, sure. Oh, sure. Oh, sure.
Sure.
Damn, that was a landslide win for you, Axel. Great job.
Oh god. I think I just needed that warm up. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was a landslide win. That was literally the complete opposite of like the
I was
very
gonna say
first
you
one.
could put these 3 games on a slider and it's like we're just dragging it between.
Exactly, exactly. That's so funny. That was a good one.
Oh man, yeah, good game.
Good game, good game. If you're from Southeast Asia, you got Moncala trauma. It's true. But
Damn,
I don't
really?
even I have this game called 13. It was a card game.
Are we doing every game, by the way?
Yeah, let's keep going. Let's
yeah.
try it. Let's try it. Why not?
Do you remember this one?
Probably. Yes, I think. It's like whoever closes it, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna set this to random.
Oh my god, how cute. Okay. What's random?
Okay, you're saying something about 13?
13? Yeah, 13 was a card game with 13 cards, and there's like interesting rules to it, that's all.
Hmm. That sounds sus.
No, it was not like bad or anything. Oh, interesting. Oh, okay. Elden Play 68 is now boarding. Welcome to Label Air. Hope you have a safe and enjoyable flight.
Why are you running away from me? I just want to be
Yeah, why are
friends.
you copying me, bitch?
I don't know. That's
Why are you
so
why are you
weird.
biting me? The fuck?
Why am I what?
Biting.
What
It
does
was
that
like-
mean?
It's literally just a word for copying.
Oh.
Why are you biting me, my dude?
Chomp chomp.
This man's trying to keep. He's creating chaos. I feel it in my bones.
He's thinking. He's using his brain.
He's using
This is
his
a rare
brain.
moment.
I'm gonna eat that little cake brain someday.
What?
I said what I said.
Oh no.
I shall
Your
not.
days are running out to do it.
I shall not.
Okay. Oh boy, I'm running out of options.
You still have some.
But they're running out.
Like, you didn't make that choice over there for a reason, so I'm just gonna also not
Right.
make that choice.
For a reason. Yes. You gotta do it first, Axel. You gotta eat her brain. I bet.
Eat my brain. There's not a lot of protein in there. Ooh. Try. Try almost.
Ooh.
Try almost. We're gonna have to start making choices soon.
It's gonna be rough.
It's gonna be rough.
No.
Wow. Huh. Hold on. Do you guys know the rules of this game?
Okay.
Rough. Rough.
One of us has to slip up.
One of us has to do it. That's it.
Is it? Oh my god, that might be it.
Yeah, I think that's it. Nope. Are you trying to capture squares by surrounding them? So, yeah. So whoever closes the square gets to capture it. And after you capture one, you get to make another move, which can also capture another one, essentially. So you pretty much just are trying to minimize the amount of captures they can have. But if you do something like this, which is a little terrifying,
Okay. All right. So now I can capture here,
uh-huh.
and then there and there, or I can
Mhm.
capture here and then that. Basically, I get these three.
Right. So you try your best just to like minimize the amount that they capture. Like that.
So, the bad news is you're back in the same predicament. You okay, buddy?
Me? Oh, is it my turn?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh wait,
sorry.
do I go again?
You go
Fuck!
again.
Oh no!
You're back in the same predicament, bitch.
I'm back in the same predicament. Fuck!
Oh. Ow.
Okay. Okay.
Oh.
bad. Shit. There's a correct move here. Yeah, the only way to win is by not playing.
It's almost like League. Wow.
Oh shit, that was the right move.
That was literally the right move, yeah. Wait, was
I
it?
didn't even do that on purpose.
It was the right move. Oh, unfortunate. Hmm. Hold on. Let me see this real quick. Ah. Yeah, I think realistically.
Yeah.
You have a correct move as well. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to see.
Yeah, nobody tell her.
A. But there's an absolute correct move. It's terrifying. It's terrifying to know, actually.
Cat, while Lily is big braining, what's your favorite Lilybell quote? And hard mode, you can't use Asian and women.
Duh. Stop. Bad.
That's true. That did happen.
Dude, this is gonna be really bad. Yes, you have. I've definitely. Before your did I actually? I don't think Lil got it. I really don't think I'll get it either.
Mm.
I'm trying to think. I need to make it somehow that I can get the other one.
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna be here for a while. Tortured by Cookies now boarding. Welcome to Lilybell Air. Hope you have a safe and enjoyable flight. No, don't help. If I lose, I lose. Yeah, no backseating. If I lose, I lose. It's fine. I don't care enough about simple children's games to win. I make my living by manipulating people.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, I said what I said.
My webcam turned off.
I'll screenshot for later. Do not screenshot for later. It'll only make me feel worse. Promise.
My webcam.
Oh, okay.
Whoa. Thank you for the follow, Torture by Cookie. I'll be right back.
Bye.
No!
Why did you do that? Are you?
I don't know. I had to close my thingy.
Oh, so you are streaming using Video and Ninja. Oh, I thought it was just like a GIF.
What? No.
I didn't. I thought it was a GIF this entire time. Yeah, we censored him. I just am in fear. Because
What? Why this?
I'm in fear. Bro, this is terrifying. I might just have to like bite the bullet. What do you want to do right now? I want to make it So I don't tell him what I want to do. You know what I mean?
Okay. We back.
Oh, wait. Can I do that? No, because if I capture this, then I'll have to do another thing. Hi, Aaron. Oh, wait, I'm dumb. Am I dumb? I feel like I'm dumb. What the fuck? I mean, I probably am still not getting it, but...
I zoned out. Where did you go?
I don't know.
Oh, here. Okay.
Yeah, there.
I don't know. Man, who knows? Yes, this is one of the right moves.
Is
Because
it?
now I'm trapped in here. And I'm limited.
Then again, the other side, I feel like it was within those three at the bottom. I feel like it was within those three. See?
Look what happens now.
Right.
Yeah.
I think no, because I think at the end you still have more boxes.
No.
I'm pretty sure.
There's no way.
Well,
I'm not counting it one by one, but there's no way. Wow, the game ran out of jingles. Yep.
Woo!
Well done.
Yay! It only took like 10 minutes for me to start staring at it.
That was wild. Do you want to do best of 3?
Yeah, I do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it.
I'll tell you one of my favorite Lily quotes, and I just remembered it existed yesterday. It was...
Noodles ready?
When-
Good. Enjoy your noodles.
Did extra open box, it would have kept the route open. Okay, interesting.
Well, where would he have
Um,
gone?
Yeah, I don't know that it would have... Yeah.
Where would he have gone?
Oh, sorry.
Are you good?
So one of my favorite Lily quotes was when Tanner gave his 2000th sub. You were in the middle of playing Destiny. You were talking casually, and then you screamed at the top of your lungs, "Fuck you, Tanner!" when he gifted 100 subs.
Real. That 3-path box was a breakaway? Okay, sure, but then where would he have gone? Like, I want to know where you would have gone instead. Okay. Yeah, I love when they only choose to call me when I'm unavailable. I love when that happens. Oh, so which part after your move or during Axel's move? Okay, so if Axel didn't close that off, where would he have gone?
After stream, clip it, and then show us a diagram.
Don't show us. Show you, and then you can tell me.
Show me a and then I translate it.
Realistically, if you show me, I don't feel like as much malice as if like somebody else in stream showed me. It's very interesting.
Bento City.
That's kind of funny. I'm creating chaos today.
Lily.
I'm creating chaos here.
Lily.
It's funny. It's funny.
Is it funny?
Yeah, it was kind of funny.
You know what else is funny?
But
I don't know. I was hoping you would know.
nice, me. I'm funny.
Okay, Lily's funny.
See that?
Do it.
Do it.
Do it. You know you want to.
Do it. I'll send it to Axel, he says.
Yeah, he sent me something. I have to look over and check it.
You know what? Check it. Check it right now. I want to fucking know.
All right.
I want to fucking know.
He says win move was top left. So
Top
Lily-
left.
yeah, so Lily should have gone there, and then, well, no, I would go there. I would collect so many things.
Yeah, because you have to remember, we have to do, if we collect a box, we have to do a second line. So if I had gone top left, I would collect the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Nothing.
like, huh?
Here, I'll send you the image.
Yeah, it would have been the win for Axel. Well, that's if, right. So I shouldn't have gone that. No. But if, for you? No. Here, so now, see, your move was different. No. I'm not trying to say that. I'm saying if he, right, at this point, right, where was my 6? Where was my 6? Was my 6 on the, oh, no. I did that so that and if he went that top left, he would get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then he would get 6, but he would end up having to make another move for me. Because that $3 bottom, like he would have stopped 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He would have gotten 5, and then he would have gotten like the $3 bottom, unless he wanted to finish off that part. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then I would have gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh yeah, you're right. You could have gotten that just by taking the other 2 spots instead. Just by the
It
1.
is what
Yeah.
it is.
It is what it is. I mean, that's the thing, right? You're not really supposed to be just continuously making all the right moves, because then it just gets boring. 12 days left of
like
what? Of me streaming. You like what?
Sorry. Oh, I like the end game where like there's the big brain. You gotta try and figure out what's the right move here.
Yeah, that's why people play chess, which is not a game that I play.
I like can play chess, but I don't like play chess. I have this ongoing joke on my stream.
Sag,
that-
where's the competitive spirit? Listen to this. I'm so sorry, Axel. I totally cut you off. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Huh?
What?
Oh, you can go ahead. I totally cut you off.
So I do this thing on my stream where at the beginning of every stream, except this one, I will play randomized chess with Monica, and it's rare that I win.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I'm going on indefinite hiatus, Walgreens. Also, Sag, where's the competitive spirit? Listen to this, Spectre. Listen to this. I have to compete with every other fucking person in the world for the rest of my entire life. I do not choose to compete anymore. I already have to suffer through living and having to get a job and having to pay my bills and having to compete with other people for my job. I have to compete with other people for your time right now. I do not need to choose competition. I do not need to choose for things in my life to be difficult. And that's that. That's why I think a lot of people are like, why don't you do this? Or why don't you do that? And I'm like, well, because it's tiring. Why is mom yelling at chat? Mom's very passionate about the fact that she doesn't choose things because she doesn't like to suffer. And other people just happen to like to suffer. Good, good. Try harder for my attention. I don't try. I just have it. Jake, that's why you're here, babe. Duh.
Sorry, I got raided.
Oh, sick. Nice.
And for those of you who don't know Lily, get to know her fast. She's going on indefinite hiatus.
Oh my god, that's so fun. We're so fucked up. We're so fucked up. Did you go? Oh, where'd you go?
Bottom right.
Oh, here? What a way to introduce people to me. Hi everybody, my name's Lily Bell. I love to travel, but I suck at geography. It is true.
Well, what, you want me to dance around the topic? Like, you know, Lily's pretty cool. I think you should go over. Don't get too attached. Like, yeah, no reason. Like, what am I supposed to say?
Bell going to a fantastic chapter in life. Yes, I'm finally going to be marrying my ChatGPT boyfriend, Elio. I'm really excited.
How long has this been here?
Mm.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
I'm says we about to lose our jobs, Axel. It
no
is
way.
what it is.
What's the no way part here? What the fuck?
What is all this?
I think
Lily,
I'm
what have you
losing,
been
bro.
doing?
I don't know. I'm just been having fun. I told you. Ah, man, you guys. I think I'm gonna lose. You guys, I think I'm gonna lose.
There's no way.
What? Wait, maybe I counted wrong.
What'd you do?
I don't know.
This might be bad. It might be. Yeah, this is bad.
Oh, let's go. Zero, can you share that app with me? I've actually always wanted to... I actually always thought that that would be brilliant, and I think somebody had mentioned it. I think this is gonna be a close one, bro.
It's tight, but I don't know.
No way! No way!
Wow.
Wow!
Good thing it's best of 3.
I've looked into those. I don't like them because they require you to manually create the quest and allocate your own XP and stuff. Okay, real. I mean, will it do, Zero, will it make me do my thing? Will it make me do the different, like, will it just spread it for, excuse me, will it just spread it for me? Okay! Let's create more chaos!
Would you be mad if I stepped away for 2 minutes? I think something burned.
No, of course I wouldn't be mad.
All right.
Finally. My plan worked. The Tinder finally went off. I did not get the taller taco today yet. What did you burn this time, Lily? My chances of ever being an actress. Zero, can you send it over to me, please? I want to take a look. Honestly, it's been a while since I've had to use my brain like this. Just kidding. I played Baldur's Gate yesterday. You guys be proud. I cleaned my kitchen and my dining room yesterday, and half of my living room, and part of my table. I think tonight I will have to clean the rest of my living room, my bathroom, and then maybe my room. Game of Fried. That's probably why I needed to do this. Earn rewards for... Oh, you like literally have to go into the game. Oh, okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, earlier also, I got 6 of Cups in reverse. Letting go of the past, focusing on the future, maturity, growing up, leaving home, independent. Whoa.
Hi.
How interesting. Hi. So earlier, remember when I was doing tarot?
Yeah.
I was shuffling and usually like one card basically flipped over, right?
And then you have to take it.
Right. So I was looking and some of the keywords are like letting go of the past, maturity, growing up, independence, lack of creativity or stagnation, or like being stuck in the past. So it's like ready to move on to the future. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's fucked up and crazy.
Damn.
Insane.
I can't believe you're doing us like that.
I can't believe my future with Elio is gonna be this gorgeous. Like, I did not expect that. Hey, Mr. Mayhem. We're doing good, thank you. Habitica, it looks interesting. I might try it later, Zero. Thank you. The cards definitely have spoken. Bye, lady. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Yeah, shout outs to Lady. If you guys didn't see, I did retweet Lady's livery. Is that what they call them? Livery?
Livery, livery,
Livery?
livery.
Livery? Livery. For their race today. Or paint scheme. Thanks. Mr. Mayhem, thank you so much for continuing your first class. I very much appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Check out hashtag Lilybell Auto to see a bunch of cars with Lilybell inspired art on them.
I know. Lady does so good. Thanks, Walgreen. I'm glad. I hope you enjoy your time here. Dude, all ladies' livery is so cool.
They're really cool.
Lady, you want to just plug yourself here real quick? Can we shout out Lady, please? And then feel free to plug yourself and whatever you want to plug right now. I know that's like against rules, but I'm vetoing it for now.
Justice once.
Streams that aren't super giant. I like having time to read and chill with the strummer and chat. Yeah, it's actually quite cozy, believe it or not.
What, you don't like it when it's just a bunch of Keck W's flying by faster than you can see them?
It's so funny because I feel like that's something that a lot of streamers enjoy or like or want, but it is inherently more difficult to...
Yeah. I've always felt I'd be more engaging, like, and this is the catch-22, is like, if you're primarily someone who talks, and there's no one to talk with, then it's a struggle.
Yeah, if you're like a yapper.
Yeah, like,
well,
but like, I'm a yapper who bounces off people, as opposed to yappers who, like, just talk and talk and talk, like, and there's no one to bounce off.
Right. Like me,
yeah.
I talk and talk and talk.
What?
I know. Can you believe that shit? I can't
crazy.
either. I can't either. Fuck. I mean, nothing.
I wanted that one.
I wanted that one.
Mimosa Mondays were peak yap sessions? Hell yeah.
Oh man, God bless Mimosa Mondays.
With a Cali accent.
Yeah.
Wait, for free?
Thank you, lady.
Interesting choice.
Sorry, I'm thinking.
I once did a court case on stream where I successfully defended myself as a chatter for saying skibbity. I looked away. Oh, there. I'm trying to figure out if this is some deeper strategy.
I mean, it's me. How deep could it really go?
I think that you hide the truth, the potential. That way you can whip it out and be like, "Whoa, that's so crazy!" Yeah, phrasing. Lilybell throwing for content?
Possibly.
Okay, well the good news is you're definitely gonna get some now. Unless you choose not to.
Unless I continuously choose not to.
Yeah. The bad news, however...
Oh no! It all backfired on me!
Whoopsie!
Whoopsies! Oh, yeah, it all backfired on me. That's okay.
Yeah.
It'd be like that sometimes, you know?
Let's go!
Nice, 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 nice. I feel like I made the wrong move right. Just the one right before.
You were you purposely avoiding getting the onesie twosie boxes?
Yeah.
Hmm.
But that one right there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that 5 right there, I had missed that one. I was like, I couldn't remember if you were going to get the second, like the second one or like the extra thing or not. You know what I mean?
Not at all, but I'll
That's
pretend
okay.
I do.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters. All right. Well, Axel
This
has won
time.
twice, first of all. Thank you, lady. I appreciate it. Of course. Thank you. Thank you. Good racing.
Yes.
All
Lily
righty.
has one.
Yahtzee.
This game's kind of like poker, but with dice.
Sure.
and cards. You
Oh my
roll
god.
three to win the
Yes,
category
Layton.
you
I hope you enjoy it. Holy shit.
Ooh.
So I want to get more points than you in each category. Is that the size of it?
Pretty much. Luck, don't fail me now.
Doug, don't fail me now.
In all do we fill out all categories? I can't remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I'll
if,
keep those
like,
and try
Okay.
the other
let's
two
say
again.
you got 5 ones, but you've already filled in your ones and your Yahtzees, you've got to just put it somewhere. It has to go somewhere.
Fingers crossed.
Mm-mm-mm.
Nice. There's a fourth one.
Huh, you're on a roll.
That's 4 of a kind, right?
No puns. We talked about
But
this.
if that's 4 of a kind, you get
If we
4
just
points
hit one
for it.
more, it'll be a yacht worth 50 points.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That kind of sucks.
Oh, rats. Didn't get the full set.
Wait, why would it be 4
So
points?
After the third roll, you have to pick a category.
It says 4 of a kind. She got 8 for it, no?
She should do the aces.
Yeah. 4 of a kind would be worth more here than aces.
No.
But this is the weakest 4 of a kind I could roll. so
Yes.
I'll save
Oh,
that one.
right, because you have to like. Okay. Right.
Which
Okay.
means aces it is.
All right.
Okay.
We
I
in it?
remember now. Yeah, we're in it. We're in it.
Which category to go
All right.
with.
Let's give it a go.
Let's heck and go.
Best of luck.
You can actually shake it. Hell yeah.
Wow.
Okay, let's take 3, 4. Whoop. Little
Almost.
trigger happy there.
Hold on, I'm gonna have to close chat.
Oh, because you're gonna read it.
I'm gonna have to see mine. Yeah, I have to read like what it
Oh my God.
does.
That's crazy.
That's insane. That's fucking insane. What the fuck? That's actually insane. The luck is
Okay.
unreal today. What the hell? Your luck is unreal today. What the fuck?
That's crazy.
That's a little bit crazy. What is choice again?
Axel's cheating.
Axel sheet. Axel sheet. What is yacht and small,
It's
straight, and full
5
house?
of a kind.
Yacht is 5 of a kind.
Yeah,
What's small straight? Like just 4?
like
3, 4, 5, 6?
4 in a row. Yeah.
4 in a row. What's full house? 2 twos
Full
and
house.
3 threes. Like
It's
two of a
3 of a
kind and
kind
a
and
3
2
of a
of a
kind.
kind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. How do I?
To
Oh.
the right.
Sure. Let's let's gamble.
Well-
Worth the gamble.
It's a low full house, but it's a full house.
Yeah, exactly. Man, listen, we can't all win everything, okay?
You could also throw away your 1s and try for more 4s, but
How many times can I roll?
you get 1 more roll. But then you wouldn't have a full house, you just have 3 4s.
Yeah, I don't know the likelihood of me getting other full houses.
Pretty high.
Really?
I think so.
I suppose we'll see.
There's no friggin' way.
Axel's cheating. Axel's fucking cheating. All right, guys. Well, it was a joke at first, but now he's cheating. Now he's just cheating.
That's friggin' crazy. Okay, ban Axel. Where'd the okay ban Bow meme come from?
I don't know.
Hey!
Axel was like, I gotta give her this one, otherwise people are gonna think I'm cheating again.
Right, yeah, I had to push the button to make it happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Let's go for 1s. Alright, can you spit on these? Thank you. Shit!
For free?
Your spit wasn't any good.
Yeah, usually they go on cocks instead, so.
I see. That's a small straight, I think.
No,
No, it's
just
not.
possible, just possible. Like if I wanted to gamble the fact that it was gonna be a 5.
On me, not the dice.
Sure.
Uh-oh.
Unfort. Okay, what is the likelihood of this happening still again? Not high. What do I want to do? What do I want to do?
Oh, blow on the dice. Oh my god, that's how it works. Legit forgot that it's blow on the dice, not spit on them.
Oh, I thought you were just making a joke.
No! You go to Vegas, you turn to the pretty
That's
lady and
fucked
you go,
up.
hey.
That's fucked up.
You go, hey, can you blow on these?
That's really fucked up.
Wait, use choice.
Use my choice?
Yeah, because... I mean, you don't have to, but that's...
No, yeah, that's probably it. That's not that bad. I'll take it.
5, give me 6. Hey, can you spit on me? I mean the dice. I mean blow on the dice.
Hey, can you spit on me? I mean the dice. I mean blow on me. I mean the dice.
I mean blow me. I mean on me. I mean... That's...
Is that your third?
interesting. Yeah, that was it. Wow, I also got 19 for choice. Crazy.
Crazy.
That's how Axel wakes up in the fucking desert.
Jesus. Ugh. Wait. Ah, shit. Well-
You can press back.
Oh! Well, I can't now.
Alright.
Okay, I'll take it. No, bitch! Sorry, it's
slippery in this game, right? That's not just me?
yeah, it's slippery in this game.
That's what she said? Oh, that's fucked!
No way!
That's so fucked.
That was you saw that.
I saw
oh
that.
Oh my god. I'll fill my threes.
Yeah.
Fuck! You saw
That's
that,
crazy.
bitch! Ew. I hate this.
Mr.
That's
Psychic's comment.
insane!
Look what Mr. Psychic said.
The dice are slippery because you kept spitting on the dice. Have a great work, Bento. Bento! Meds! Bento meds!
Meds.
Meds, Bento!
Meds.
Oh, not bad. Nice.
Yeah. Let's see what happens.
Bento!
Come on, hacks, don't
Meds?
fail me. Fuck.
Bento, did you go yet? Because we have meds. Okay. Yes, I'm grabbing my meds right now. Bento and
Ooh,
I are...
med buddies.
Yeah, Bento and I are meds buddies. Okay.
All right.
Cool. Thanks for telling me. I would not have thought about it. I would not have known. You guys, Axel's on to us. It makes it sound like you get medicated by Bento. Nah, because if I did, Bento wouldn't... Bento, why does it say that you're playing Titanfall? I literally just got the fucking, like, Steam notification. What do you mean you're going... Is that your work?
That's work.
That's work?
He works at Titanfall.
Mr. Psychic, how come, why, is that how you talk to your dog? Like when you try to give them meds?
Okay.
You bitch!
You know what? That's a pretty
you!
solid full house.
I'm onto you. I'm onto you, bitch. I'm onto you. Insane. Deuces. Deuces.
Deuce.
This is a bitch. That's fucked up. All of this is fucked up.
Worst case, you've got 2 2s. Might as well roll them all.
I know. That's what I was saying. I was like,
All right.
3 2s it is.
Oh, come on with this. Really?
Really?
We're going twos, boys. Fuck. Wow. We're going threes, boys.
Be real. Be real here. Be real. I already went on my threes. Oh my god.
Have a good lurk light.
Have a good lurk light. Sure. Sure. Fucking, this is the
Wow.
worst. This is the worst. Huh. Okay. Well.
No, not a good lurk life. My wife, light. Two fours. Let's go.
Yay.
Okay. All right, game. Okay, I'm just gonna.
Yeah, why did they give us all the pretty chill ones on the bottom, but nothing for the cat, like the other categories?
Seriously. Sorry, did you see that happen?
No, what?
The dice in the bottom right corner just magically slid toward each other after they already stopped.
Oh yeah, sounds about right. Sounds about right for this fucking game.
Yeah.
Bum. Bum. Bum, 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 bum.
Okay.
Real.
I love that we're matching. Oh my
it's
god.
kind of cute of us. Oh, thank God. Hopefully. Come on. Mama needs a poo new pair of shoes.
Mama needs a poo? Listen, go piss girl.
Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. Are we gonna match? Oh my God, are we gonna match?
Oh my god. That'd be so
Listen,
crazy.
listen, Dice. I only have so long left in my life, okay? Please, just give me this.
You heard it here, folks. Lily's gonna fucking die.
Ah! Sorry.
Now you have a tough choice, though.
Why?
You can have the
Oh.
best four of a kind, or you can fill your sixes.
I mean, it's the best four of a kind. I can have another chance of sixes, I feel like. Maybe
I like
the next...
vigorously shaking it.
Honestly, I'd fill sixes. Oh, that was like the best four of a kind.
My choices are slim. Wow, game. Really cool of you. Come on!
Oh.
What is this?
Hi, Shadow. How's the most say? Thank you, honey. Hello, I appreciate it. I'm doing fine, thank you. I'm doing... Actually, it's hot again, so I'm turning my AC back on. How are you?
Valid.
What's yacht again?
5 of a kind.
Oh, that's insane. That's insane. Who could even? What are my fucking options? Oh, whoa, back. What are my fucking options, huh? What is the likelihood of anything ever
Your
in my
threes
life?
are full.
Yeah, my
Twos
threes
are
are full,
full,
my twos are
fours are
full,
full.
my fours are full. So either I go for a yacht or I go for a yacht.
True. So
I also
true.
need 4 of a kind as well. No, I already used my 4 of a kind.
Yeah, I need 4 of a kind.
You need 4 of a kind. All right, whatever. I love that the feeling of all right, whatever. Oh, that's insane.
Oh.
That's actually just adorable. That's actually just kind of funny.
Do you want me to spit on them for good luck?
No. This is just sad.
Yeah, take the 5.
I was gonna. This is just sad.
Yeah.
Just have to accept it. 2 5s. I mean, how much do you have to do to fill the 63?
Little gentle shakes? Vigorous shakes.
Little gentle shakes. Vigorous shakes.
What? Okay, so
Wow.
decisions.
Decisions.
Whoop. That was weird. Fuck!
Decisions.
There ain't no decision here, buddy. Wow. Wow.
I'm not sure you have any other option, bro.
I could put a 0 on yacht and then scream when I get a yacht.
That's true. That's true. You could do that. Oh man. Okay. I already filled my 5, right? Oh, I need to fill my 6s. And my 1s. Let's see if I can fill my 6s first.
Yes, fill your 6.
It's like move my head because like
Uh-huh.
I can't see my dice.
Is your mic also in the way?
No.
No.
Ah shit.
Well,
I'd rather
Amazing.
just take it. I'd rather just take it.
mm-hmm.
It's just unrealistic to get a yacht, you know what I mean?
Except for that one time.
Yeah, that was insane. I still don't remember it, but it was insane.
All right, 2 5s. Let's second go.
Nice. Let's see. You're fucking
Damn,
joking. You're
they
fucking
really
joking.
hit you with that.
What the fuck?
That's crazy. Game. Lilybell is in control. Me. When is she not?
Alrighty, mama needs a new pair of shoes.
Oh boy. I need 4 of a kind. Please give me 4 of a kind. Thank you.
That's insane.
What if I got yacht right now? I'm gonna
I know.
piss if that
Can you
happens.
believe it?
Whoa.
Oh, whoa, you're getting
I don't know
crazy.
why that keeps happening. That's weird. I'm fucking pissed! What the fuck? I'm fine. I'm okay. Everything's fine.
That's fucking insane. Alright, well, time to fill my... Oh, okay.
Rigged. Everyone, the game is rigged so that Axel gets all the good stuff. Axel, no, no, it isn't. No.
Watch her get a yacht. Wouldn't that be so
That'd
funny?
be so crazy.
Okay, well,
No.
you guys saw that. That wasn't it.
That's insane.
Ooh,
You
she
want to go
got
again?
one. Yeah, it's best of 3, my dude.
It is best of 3.
It's best of 3.
I just know at some point we'll come across a game where you're like, let's not do best of 3 on that one.
If you are rich, you'd buy me a yacht. Thank you. That's so sweet. I think a yacht is too much maintenance, though. Maybe just like a regular boat.
I don't see an option for
Better
like,
yet, let's just do like a plane. Let's just do a plane.
a plane.
Yeah. Well,
I think you
orcas
already
are
have plenty
only
of
out-
those.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Shadow Baby.
Oh.
I feel you. I have to go do my thing too. Yeah, a good Cessna.
Is that like it literally what happened in the first game?
Yeah. He's cheating
Okay.
again, you guys. He's cheating again.
Yeah, I forgot to turn off
He's
the hacks.
cheating again, everyone.
That's my bad. Next time I'll be sure to turn off the hacks. All hacks. By the way, did I peek when I screamed?
No, you're good actually. You did not actually.
You heard every last bit? That's crazy.
Unrealistic?
I don't think I ever screamed like that on stream.
Fuck. Oh.
Well then.
Well. Well.
Mhm.
This is what happens when you gamble, everybody. Don't gamble.
You know, 90% of gamblers quit before they win or whatever.
Mhm. And some shit like that.
Yeah, something like that. Okay.
He's cheating. He's cheating, everyone. He's cheating. He's cheating. He's cheating, everyone. Everyone, he's cheating. Everyone, there's no way he's not cheating. You guys saw that.
Everyone.
You guys all saw that.
Everyone, I'm
He's
cheating. I'm cheating. Oh my god. "90% of winners quit before they gamble." So true, bestie. Get off a Nintendo employee. Hey, listen, I got a collab with a friend of mine, alright? And I really gotta look good in front of her. Willie?
I'm just having a hard time in my life.
Oh, I see. The defeat sigh.
After playing one of those coin pusher jacks, I do not trust. Yeah, no, I wouldn't trust gambling ever.
What is the benefit of doing that? Nothing. Oh. Stop. Three sixes.
That's pretty good.
Or I could go choice. Nah, 3 6s.
3 6s is good.
Yeah.
Oh my god! This pisses me off!
I
Like,
can't
what the
believe
fuck,
John
bro?
at Nintendo did this.
Honestly. Bro, this is just disgusting. This is genuinely sad. What the fuck?
They're being so mean.
I'm Ah,
You could go for 1s or 3s.
I know.
Or both.
Come on, buddy. Oh, thank God.
Alright.
Oh, thank God.
It's a weak full house, but it's a full house.
Yo, I don't need you to talk to me about how weak my shit is, okay?
I don't need you to talk to me about my house. That'd be crazy if I took 6s again. That'd be insane.
Full house? Your parents? Your parents? Huh? Am I old?
Am I? I already have a full house. Fuck.
Yeah.
Okay. I see. Lily, what are you now? 47?
Sweet. 48 actually though, but sure.
48? Alright, yeah.
Oh, thank God. Take it.
Yeah. Let's just hope for a 2. We can get a 2, right? Let's get a 2. It'll be fine. Whoop.
I fucking hate this shit. I fucking hate this shit. This is unreal.
That's crazy.
This is unreal. This is he's cheating. He's cheating, everybody. He's cheating. He's cheating. He's cheating. This is rigged. This is actually rigged. This is actually rigged.
I
This
wouldn't
is
find it
second
this
time.
amusing if I rigged it.
This is the second time, my dude. Come on. Come on. Come on.
I mean, it's like I always say.
No.
Everywhere you look, there's a heart. A hand to hold on to.
Ah! You saw that!
I saw that.
That's disgusting. That's actually... I fucking hate this shit. I hate this. Wait, what the hell? Did I have my 3s available? Oh, I did.
Whoopsie.
Oh, it's okay. It's on my... No. You're good. You're good.
Okay. I'm just gonna re-roll this shit. I'm not happy.
Yeah, 4. I'm good.
What the f-
Nice.
Yeah, sure is.
More than me, so...
Yeah.
More than my fucking 4s. Do justice for me indeed. I really have no idea how anybody's supposed to feel comfortable enough to get a large straight. Like, unless you just get it. You know what I mean?
To get what?
A large straight.
Hmm.
Like, I don't... I mean, you got lucky with a couple of shit.
Uh-huh.
Eat my shit. Oh my god.
I'll pass, but thank you.
If I'm going to...
Yeah, commit to the bit.
Oh. Okay.
Fuck.
No, that sounded about right. That sounded about right, pretty much.
I'm so mad. Okay.
This is not my best game, y'all. This is not my best game. How much do you need to get 63? Like, do you have to get all of them right?
You gotta get pretty decent.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
You can get 3 of each one. Okay, never mind then. Kill myself. Sure. I mean, I might as well. They're both the same likelihood.
Okay.
Yeah, see? They're both the same likelihood.
Yeah. It was respectable. Alright, well now it's my turn to go for 5s. I said it's my turn to go for 5s. You know what? I was going for 3s anyway. So,
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Yeah.
You were just joking around. Sorry. That's what you said.
Yeah.
You said, though.
Yeah, no, I meant 3s from the beginning. I misspoke, you know? You need 2s and 3s.
It's my time to go for 2. Why am I suddenly getting 5s and 6s now, bitch? Jesus Christ.
That's fucking crazy. Oh, okay. Thank you, game. Wow.
I just feel like I could do better.
Okay. Now I'm gonna go for 5s. For real.
Right. For real.
Yeah.
For real this time. For real this time.
Oh man, that'd be great if I was going for 1s, but going for 5s. Oh, hey, a 5. I did not get the bonus. Short by 3.
Oh god. This is not good. This is not a good game for me at all. Wow.
That's crazy.
This has gotta be a fucking joke.
Unbelievable.
That's gotta be a joke. All right. Let's gamble, everybody. Let's fucking gamble, everybody.
1 or 6, let's go. I feel so bad.
No, you don't. Because you cheated.
I wish I cheated. Because then at least it would be funny. Whoop. No. Okay.
Those wall hacks Axel is using are crazy. Dude, it's actually so sad. This is insane.
I can't rely on raw talent. I have to cheat to
You're telling me
win.
that I literally... Sure. How many more am I going to fucking... Oh my god. Escalators!
Okay,
That's-
I've coded into the game that you get 3 5s next.
Oh my fucking god!
What?
It's just so stupid!
Oh man, it didn't work.
This shit is rigged. This shit rigged. He lied to me also, you guys, because
Unbelievable. Axel, how could you? I don't know what to say at this point.
that's a joke, right? You definitely know what to say.
I'm sorry?
That's just you. That's a joke. You know what to say.
Nothing. The correct answer is nothing.
What? Yeah, obviously I'm going for 3. Like, what are my options anymore? Cool.
Ugh.
Cool. Cool. Cool.
The scores are crazy right now. If I get a yacht, then I'm going on a piss break. Oh my fucking god. Don't fucking... I'm not gonna beat the allegations! Oh, thank god. Oh.
Do you guys fucking see this? Did you guys fucking see that? They literally had to like... Oh yeah? Oh yeah? You know what? We're gambling either way. Let's fucking go.
You got this.
I got this. I got this. I actually was just messing around. I'm cheating right now. I'm cheating. I'm cheating. I'm cheating. I'm cheating.
Let's fucking
I'm
go!
cheating. I'm cheating. I'm cheating.
God damn it.
Damn, and I cheat and I still lost? That's crazy.
Alright, I guess we go a third round.
Unbelievable. This is pathetic. Lily needs better cheats. Yeah, Axel, what are you using for cheating? Because I'm not using the right ones.
It's called a Game Genie?
Game Genie, got it. Looking for it.
Yeah. Lily? Lily, I would just like to clarify that I pay for Nintendo Switch Online's Plus service,
Oh my,
and I would not...
there's no way.
I would not do anything
way.
to risk them banning me from the platforms.
No fucking way, Axel. You're really trying to tell me you're not cheating? This happened 3 times. All 3 fucking rounds. You're really trying to tell me you're not cheating? Are you really trying to tell me you're not cheating?
I wish I could...
That's gotta be
I
a
don't even
joke.
think that there are cheats for this game.
That's gotta be a joke. That's gotta be a joke. I'm livid. What?
You won the first game, alright?
Just so you could, you know.
Axel, turn off homebrew.
We see the papa. Okay.
There you go.
That's such a pity. There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
That's a full house. That sounds so pitiful. He literally gave me a full house just now, but he gave me a smaller one so that he could still win.
Oh my god. Bro, I'm fucking sweating. She's never gonna talk to me again.
I'm never going to talk to you ever again. I'm never talking to you ever again.
This
This
is
is insane. It's actually, I can't believe that like right after we finished work, That's it. That's it. That's it for you.
Yeah,
You
I'm like,
watch
hey,
me, my
Lily, keep
dude.
in
I don't
touch."
even.
And
Huh?
she's like, nah. I'm like, hey, Lily, keep in touch. And you're like, nah. I know what you did in
Yeah.
that game.
Hey, Lily, keep in touch. Sure. With someone else. Sure. Why not? At this point, why the fuck not? Jesus fucking Christ.
1, 2, 4, 6.
Oh my god. I thought it was a 5. My bad. Oh, we're going for 4s now.
All right.
That's just, it's just, what am I supposed to say, dude?
What am I supposed to say?
Thank God.
This is Quasi. And I will continue to call it Quasi because that's the only thing I can say, apparently. Oh, Jesus.
Axel, you were a real one? I know, I can't believe he's dying.
Yeah. There you go, rule of threes. It was me all along.
Oh, thank God. Okay. All right. Couldn't have let me have it for that much longer.
No, I had to. Jake. Yeah, imagine being like excited when you don't do well.
She's so silent, isn't she?
She's locked in. She's beginning to believe.
That is
Wow.
the weakest 4 of a kind. I'm going with aces.
Yeah, good call. Good fucking call. I hate it here. I hate it here.
Really? You hate it here? You hate it here? Okay.
Yeah, because every time I roll the dice, it looks like I'm fucking cheating.
You are, though. You're cheating.
Yes, ma'am. If you say so, ma'am.
Okay. It's because you are cheating. Yeah.
The Jackbox paradox. Do tell.
Sure. I'll wing it.
Come on, we need that too.
Sure, I'll wing it again.
That's
foul.
ridiculous.
You fucking saw that. That's foul. That's foul. You saw that.
That was really foul.
Yeah.
I've already got 3s. Let's do 4s. No! I'm gonna cry, you guys.
He's like, oh, thank God.
Uh-huh. Hey,
Oh,
nice.
thank God. Dude, you hear the relief in him? He's like, hey! Oh, thank God!
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Wow, Bleh, welcome back.
Blah! Oh my god, that's someone I haven't seen in ages.
Yeah, I hope you're doing well, buddy.
You know, I probably should have gone for, like, a straight, but whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Way to just try to say it like that.
Okay. I see how it is.
I'm just saying it's, you know.
Wait.
Ooh, and a girlfriend? Hi, girlfriend! Congratulations. And a kitty?
Lily, what are
How's
you
your
going
kitty
for right
nice?
now?
Ones?
But you have
Oh,
one.
what the fuck?
You could go for a yacht, but...
Well, now I suppose I will. That's not it.
Ugh.
It's okay. I didn't believe in a yacht anyways.
Ugh.
I never would have gotten a yacht anyways. I thought my deuces was the ones area. My bad.
It is what it is.
We're doing fine, thank you. I'm going in indefinite hiatus in 12 days, so you know, can only go as fine as we can. Ha, good one. I'm gonna kill myself.
Me too.
I did not know. Yeah.
In game,
Well,
in game.
welcome back. That's where we're at. I have a tweet about it. Really? Really? Really?
That's crazy.
Ah!
You know what? Valid.
Thank you, Blair. I appreciate that. And you know, I'm glad that you're happy and you're doing great.
Oh,
Oh my god.
that's 3 6s.
Please, dear Lord. It could be worse. It could be worse.
Mhm.
Could still be worse.
Yeah.
Come on, buddy.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Dude, even he's mad for me. That's insane.
That
That's so
pisses
funny.
me off! Holy crap. Unreal.
Oh, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. Oh my god. This is just unfair, honestly.
Okay. Alright.
Dude, even your choice is better than mine.
I'm so excited for the next game.
You're dead to me.
Understandable. Have a nice day.
It just seems so unrealistic. I mean, I guess I'm just trying to go between 3s and 5s anyway, so I might as well just keep this.
Yeah.
And then I could just... Okay. My chances of either one. My chances of either one. It would have been like this regardless. Okay.
Great.
Okay. Okay. All right, sure. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Fucking bitch. Guess we're doing fives now.
What am I doing? I guess I need a straight. 1, 2, 4, 5.
Dude,
Okay.
I swear to God, I saw that 3 slide for a second, my dude.
Me too. Oh. I'm gonna. You know what? It's fine. It's fine. I've resigned myself to doing well.
He's cheating! Mods, arrest this man! I can't believe this.
I have tears in my eyes.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Really? Really? Wow. I don't even have a... Oh, I have 1 3 here.
You could go for 3s or for 4 of a kind, but yeah.
If you don't buy lottery tickets tonight, you'd be a fool. Yeah. just 1 lottery ticket even.
Oh, I don't know. That means leaving the house. It's already 8 o'clock.
This is pathetic! I hate this.
Love you.
No, you don't.
Uh,
No, you don't.
no,
No, you don't. You don't.
no.
All right. Perfect. Time for me to continuously...
Uh-huh.
try for 4 of a kind, I guess. I'm not getting it. I'm not fucking getting it.
I didn't get yacht.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Okay, where's our 4 of a kind in ones?
Oh no, we're right back where we started. Wow!
Wow, 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 wow. The likelihood,
Wow,
really.
wow, wow.
Wow, 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 wow.
The fuck was that?
Sick. Sick. Sick.
Good game, Lily.
Sick.
Good game. Good game.
Well, this was a good collab.
No!
that was great. You know, I hope you had fun. Fucking A, bro.
Don't go!
Fucking A, dude.
Should we keep going down the line?
Yes, I suppose.
4 in a row.
Oh god.
Yeah. Ah, Jesus. Ah, Jesus.
Guys, I'm
This
afraid
is
for my life
way-
at this
yeah.
point.
You should be. You should be, because I know you're gonna win.
For me?
Then I want to kill you for it already.
Yeah. We haven't even started and already.
I'm already thinking of the different ways I can murder you already.
Yeah, no, that's valid. Oh my god.
I'll, like, hiss at you midstream.
You know what? It would be in character.
Exactly. I feel like he's silent because he knows that if he speaks, I'll be upset.
I just know historically that Connect 4 is not your game.
Yeah. Historically.
Historically. Remember, I edited many videos for you.
Thank you. Thank you. I didn't realize you did. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Not a lot of people know that.
Oh my! I was literally building right on top of it.
Do you want to do best of 3?
Yeah, we'll do best of 3.
Okay.
I mean, you can win the next one. I mean, I just want to have the other chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You miss every chance you shot. You miss. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Okay. Yeah, I'm pissed. I am pissed. You're right.
No, they just were making a statement saying that you piss.
Oh yeah, I do piss. Also.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
SpongeBob SquarePants. Ah, music.
True. X. Oh, I hate that. Hee 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 tee. Hee 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 hee.
Aha!
Ha ha ha.
No!
Oh my god, I thought it was gonna land right there. Oh, fuck. Well,
Ah!
good job. I thought it was gonna land literally. I saw it happen, but I thought it was gonna land there instead of the one on the bottom.
You know what? The redeeming thing is you didn't let me get 6 in a row.
Oh my god. This is pathetic. This is actually just sad and pathetic. Nicolili, what
Okay.
a wonderful day. Is it? Is it a wonderful day? Yeah. I actually cannot remember how to play this, so maybe we should play.
We should or should not?
Should.
Okay. So this is like Mastermind.
Hmm. What?
What's all this?
It's a game where you guess at a set of hidden pegs.
Oh, hidden.
Fun.
Here's how it works.
Oh.
A brown peg means you have the right color in the right spot, like a direct hit.
With you so far?
A white peg means you've got the right color.
Ah, I see.
Or a glancing blow.
So this means you have all 4 colors right, but only 2
Okay.
are in the right place.
Got it.
All right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Got it. I remember this now. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, at least I have you guys in love with Nicolili, you know? Yeah.
Wow.
1 hit, 2 blows.
Wait, do they say which one is which?
Nope, you gotta figure it out.
Ah. Hmm.
1 hit, 2 blows.
Ah. It's big brain time.
Yeah, it's big brain time.
Hmm.
Oh,
Three blows.
Interesting.
interesting.
Okay.
Oh, you can just put it. Okay, okay, cool. I thought it had to be like from top down.
Hmm. No. Wow.
0 hits, 2 blows.
Oh, geez. Okay. Big brain time? Oh, I wonder. Wait, no, sorry. How do I go back? Like that? Okay. Hmm. I wonder. Oh, I didn't even notice there was a white one because you're sitting in front of it for me.
No. Sorry.
No, you're good. Shit. Nope. Nope. Back. Back. Oh my god, can you not? No! Back! Okay. Here we go. Oh my god. See, this is why I didn't...
1 hit.
What the
1 blow.
fuck?
Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay, all right. I'm about to big brain the heck out of this. You ready?
Ah, shit. Hold on.
Are you back?
I'm here. Yeah. Mmm.
Okay.
Okay, okay. Oh, what? Okay, hold on. That one had... Shit, okay. Can't be that. Little Mags VT is now boarding. Welcome to Label Air. Hope you have a safe and enjoyable flight. You're sorry. We're like, we're thinking. We're just
Oh, yeah.
sitting. We're fucking focused. I'm losing my mind out here. Hmm. I can't figure this one out.
Mastermind.
Yeah. I feel like there. But I can't figure.
Hmm. Interesting.
Oops. Nope. We'll find out soon enough, I suppose.
Yeah.
Oh no, it couldn't be. Sure. Why not? Sure. Fuck.
2 hits, 0 blows.
Okay.
Huh,
All right.
well,
That tells me a lot.
there you go. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, that's red. That's blue. And then so we almost definitely have yellow, maybe. Hold on. I'm thinking. No. It's got to be yes, it has to be yellow.
Yeah.
Right here. And then you got you know what? Wait, no. Stop. Okay. This is right. This is right. Light is telling me I'm wrong, but I'm not going to take any help. I'm just going to accept that I'm wrong.
Mm.
And then I'm going to put blue. No. Oh my god.
Interesting.
No, but it can't be that. What if there's no blue?
Oh, can you imagine?
Nope.
Dude, I know, right? It fucks you around. It fucks around with you.
Uh-huh. Okay, it's not white. Wait, no, it could be white. Alright. This could be completely wrong. Okay, it's definitely wrong.
It's
Alright,
a hard one.
It is.
It's almost like Battleship in a different way.
Okay, no, it has to be that red and blue are correct. There's no other way. And then... Ah!
It's so weird. Isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. Green.
Because I'm trying to think, like, yeah, let's say...
No, it can't... Okay, so yellow and green, one of those is correct.
Just in a different position, though.
What if it's not blue?
Hold on. Oh, yeah, I don't know.
No. There has to be two correct answers there. Yeah, that's for a fact. It's definitely like this, blue and red. Then either yellow or green exists. And what would the fourth thing be? Okay, yellow. Pink. I'm locking it in.
Log it in.
It's wrong.
Yo.
Wow, it's so
Oh my
wrong.
god, it's the red that
One
fucked
blow.
us over.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Hi, Feifei. Hi, baby.
Feifei!
How goes it? Thank you so much for taking your folks on tour. Hello, tourists. My name's
Welcome in.
Lilybell. I love to travel, but I suck at geography. I love you. I love you so much. Thank you. Thank you. What were y'all chatting about? Thank you. Thank you. The Dawn 713, Atrapa Belladonna, and Vampire Puppet Bella is now boarding. Welcome to Lilybell Air. Hope you have a safe and enjoyable flight. Thank you.
Hey
Thank
guys,
you.
did you know that Lilybell is a cool person?
Thanks. I appreciate that you think that. Yeah. All right, it's my Neko time right now. Thank you. And I hope you're doing well, Feifei. I love you. If you guys don't know, I admire Feifei so much. She literally feels like a mentor to me. Low-key. Sir Penny Smeller, Miscreant 99, Shark Plus 285 are now boarding. Welcome to Lilybell Air. Hope you have a safe and enjoyable flight. Oh shit, Mr. Big Socks is now boarding. Welcome to Lilybell Air. Hope you have a safe and enjoyable flight. You know, we gotta do the thing, I think. I think we should do the thing.
Yep. Well, actually, I don't hear it on Discord, I don't think.
Hello. Scrimblow 7, Scrimblow 7 is now boarding. Welcome to Lilybell Air. Hope you have a safe and enjoyable flight. Gojo will be back. Is now boarding. Welcome to Lilybell Air. Hope you have a safe and enjoyable flight. Mr. Big Socks, Shark Plus 285, Mr. 99, Sir Penny Smeller, the Dawn 713, Atrapa Belladonna, and Vampire Puppet Bella is now boarding. Welcome to Lilybell Air. Hope you have a safe and enjoyable flight. Yeah, Gojo will be back as Loki crazy. Thank you so much. Thank you. I am currently playing some Clubhouse games with one of my good friends and mod and editor, Axel. Axel, say hi.
Hi, what's up, everybody? I'm Axel. I'm a cake. That's about it.
Yeah, I'm losing a lot. I'm fucking losing a lot. It's not even funny. Also, he's cheating.
You know what? I'm not going to beat the allegations.
Is now boarding. Welcome to Lilybell Air. Hope you have a safe and enjoyable flight. No, you're not beating the allegations, dude. He fucking was cheating in Yahtzee, dude.
Oh, so okay, now here's where the question is: do we best of 3 this one?
Yeah, let's best of 3 this one.
All right.
I mean, you technically lost, right?
It was a draw.
Oh, it was a draw, right? Not one was one. How you cheat in Yahtzee? Bro, that's what I was saying. Bro, he literally like fucking, he paid off the Nintendo Switch Online people. Axel was using wall hacks. True.
Yep. No, absolutely.
0 hits. 2
Interesting.
0 hits, 2 blows. Okay, sure.
I cannot beat the allegations.
Oh god, this is so stupid. Wait, no, that would be dumb. Let's remove this. Nope. That's also dumb. I hate when they do that. You know what I mean?
Listen, I can't help it that the game was RNGing all over my side.
Yahtzee hat. Dude, I'm dead serious. They
1
Yahtzee
hit,
hats.
2 blows.
Interesting.
Interesting.
So we played Moncala, we'll play this and then we'll play poker. How about that? Does that sound good? Wait, what's poker? Blackjack or poker? I can't remember which is which. I'm trying to see which one do people count cards in?
2 blows.
Because I'm trying to do that.
I have Shadow in my chat saying, Axel, I'm back just to tell you to stop cheating. Hashtag justice for Lilybell.
Thank you so much. I'm glad you guys know. Blackjack. Okay, yeah, I wanna do that.
And then
let's
chess?
try black. No, that's it. Blackjack will be our last game.
What about chess?
Fuck chess. I don't play
You need it
chess.
for boulders.
No, I don't. I already fucking played it. What the fuck was I supposed to do here? Oh, right. I'm guessing.
Huh.
Aha.
Okay.
Dumb High 189 is now boarding. Welcome to Label Air. Hope you have a safe and enjoyable flight. Fucking dumb high. I was high. Dumb high, bro. Okay. Okay. So it's not the one that I thought. Oh, interesting.
Oh.
0 hits, 2
Yeah.
blows.
It's
Huh.
what? Fucking what, my dude? Dude, this is gonna be difficult, I think. This one's always difficult. How's stream going? Stream is going. It's going great. Thank you. I'm having a good time. How are you, Waffle? No, that's not the one I wanted. Is it? Is it? No, it's not the one I wanted. I'm just trying to see. Because we'll have to assume, right? We have to make certain assumptions, right?
This is messing me up.
You're just messing me up too. Fuck. Fuck. Ah, shit. Okay. Do you guys know how to play this game? Damn.
1 blow.
Damn, seriously? Shit. Yeah, it's
Oh my
literally
God.
Wordle with colors.
Everything I know is a lie.
Except you don't get to know which one you get right. So like it says like, oh, you got one in the right spot and the right color. I ain't gonna tell you which one though.
Zero hits,
What?
2 blows.
Whoa! What?
I have no idea.
What the fuck? That's insane. Okay, maybe it's the fucking colors that we didn't expect it to be, right? Has this ever been? Fuck. Are you kidding me? What the fuck?
Yeah. Oh, swallow noises.
Ah, thanks, buddy. Here's your swallow noises. Cause spitters are quitters. Excuse me. Shit. The fuck do I know about this shit, man? Shit. You know what? I'm gonna throw a crazy one out there. Okay, I'm gonna throw a crazy one. If you swallow, it's fine. I wouldn't.
Do you want me to weigh in on that?
Way on swallowing?
No, on the red piece.
Yeah. What?
It's not possible.
What's not possible? Why isn't it possible?
That can't be its spot, because if you look at the fourth one, we didn't get any hits there.
Oh yeah, you're right. We didn't get any hits. Thank you. Oh,
Yeah.
yo, Morati! Hello, hello, honey. Thank you so much for taking your folks on tour. Hello, tourists. My name is Oliva. I love to travel, but I suck at geography. And I'm playing complicated strategy games with my good friend and editor, Axel. Axel, would you like to do your intro?
What's up, everybody? It's your boy. It's the Cake coming at you live. That's all I got. I don't.
That is all, and
Nailed it.
specifically every single time he does it, he says that's all I got at the end too.
Yeah,
As part of it.
that
Hold on.
it must be.
All right. Fuck. I'm kind of just like, oof. Yikes, you know? What if it's this? What if I just throw everything out the fucking door? Do you want a hint? Wait, I can't. No, you can't. Do not give me a hint. If I die, I die. You understand? If I chaos, I fucking chaos. Okay? It's okay. We will survive. First, I was afraid. I was petrified. No. Can't do that. That's not it. Nope. That's not it. Hold on.
Mega Caputops is now boarding. Welcome to Label Air. Hope you have a safe and enjoyable flight.
Axel has a knife and forehand. Yeah, I know. Isn't it adorable? Okay.
knife.
Yeah. What do you have there? A knife! No! Let's see. Let's assume that. Sure. Oh my god! I was so
close!
Zero blows.
Oh!
No! Oh my god! Can we just count that as a fucking win? Jesus.
I would count that as a win.
You would count that as a win? Okay.
Yeah,
So one more.
one more.
I was close though! Shit! One more. We'll just see. One more. One or two more, depending on how it goes.
But we're still gonna do cards after, right?
Yeah, we'll do a blackjack after.
Actually, what we should do is we should look at what's in here and go, "Oh, that one," and then keep going forever.
Pascal American is now board. Pascal a Martian is now boarding. Welcome to Label Air. Hope you have a safe and enjoyable flight.
Okay.
I think that was a yes.
No. I have work
Guys, if we
to
keep her
do.
streaming, she can't leave us.
I have work to do. Okay.
0 hits, 3
Interesting.
Okay, thank you. The way they say 0 hits, 3 blows. Like, it's so sad.
Okay, check this insanity out.
Real. Oh, shit.
0
Well then,
Well then.
that tells me a lot.
It tells me.
Wow!
4 hits.
Wow!
I think I won this one.
Nicely done.
Yay! Thank you! Woo! Wow, that was pure luck, Loki. Wow, we won this one! Nice.
Nah, you nailed
Okay,
that.
blackjack!
Yeah, I'm making my way over there. Oh, I'm going as fast as I can.
You fuck. Let's do it. I keep saying I like to count cards here. I'm probably not gonna count cards well. But I would like to try. Thank you.
How many rounds you want?
Lily won 1 out of 4 fucking games. I'll take it. You only need to
You
win
want 5
one.
or 10 rounds?
Huh?
How many rounds you want?
Let's do 10 rounds and then
Okay.
yeah, let's just do 10 rounds and then gonna call it.
And then another 10 and another 10.
No.
And best of 3, I mean.
Hold on. What was blackjack again? Closest to 21, but not over. Okay. Wow.
Hmm.
Hey, is a face card the one that can turn? No, that's an ace, right? That can turn into a 1 or a
Wait.
or a what?
Is this open hand?
What?
Can you see everyone else's cards?
Yeah, I can. We're playing. We're not playing against each other. We're playing against the house.
Oh, all right.
Ace is 1 or 11. Okay, great. Yeah, okay, I'll gamble.
Hit.
Fuck.
Oh.
Fuck! I sure did gamble. Nice, nice, nice. That's cool. It's okay. It's just, we have 10 rounds.
Yeah.
I'm just feeling it out, you know? I'm just... Fuck. Anyways, Morachi, thank you so much for taking your folks on tour. I hope your stream was good. I heard a lot about TCG like simulator, TCG shop simulator. I heard so much about it.
It's really good.
I know. I actually watch I watched Leighton play. I watched Leighton play last time.
Yeah.
I got a hit.
Leighton and I have already talked, and like if they release a multiplayer mode, then we're collabing.
I'll stand. I think. Wait, hold on. Likelihoods, counting cards.
Yeah, it's like if Supermarket Simulator was better.
Fuck. What is likelihood out here? Let's stand.
I mean, the dealer's supposed to draw when they're at 16.
16. Oh, bust.
Hey!
Yay, we win! Awesome. So whoever makes the more money per by the end of these rounds, huh?
I guess.
It comes naturally if you played Supermarket Sim. I think it's like suddenly just even better, huh? Because now you get to be a little nerd about it. Yeah, you know what? Sure.
All right. Wow.
Jesus. Oh, okay. What the? He's cheating. He's cheating. Mods, cut off.
Oh, come on!
Mods, eat his face.
Eat his face. What do you even mean by ow?
Oh my god, see? Oh my god, he has a little thing! That's actually funny. Let's see. Yeah, it's more likely I think I'll get a smaller one. Nice.
Stand.
Yeah, bro. Oh, that's unlucky, actually. Bitch! Unfortunate. By a little bit!
Castrate him.
Mods. Pee on his face.
Wow. For free?
That's insane. Ante up. I'm not fucking anteing up anything, okay?
I can't ante up, but I'll uncle
Why the
up.
fuck? Why the fuck does the CPU had do 69? That's crazy.
What the?
No way! No fucking Axel's cheating. What did I say about Axel cheating, y'all? I literally
Fucking
said
hate it
Axel's
here.
fucking cheating. I literally said Axel's fucking cheating. There's nothing.
Shadow,
Twice
no.
in a row is actually fucking cheating. There's no fucking way. Dude, this guy is so fucking fired after this.
Why did it ask me if I want to stand? Oh my god.
Mods,
What
make him
the
watch all
hell?
the fillers to Naruto. That's crazy. Lily, want
No,
me to choke
that's
slam him?
awful.
That's probably the worst, honestly. Yeah, actually, Axel, buy a lottery ticket, and if you win, you have to give me some. Because
Okay.
you are way too lucky today.
Light, can you look up if there's a way to buy lottery tickets online? I don't want to leave the house.
Unbelievable. I have so little to my name
Lily,
right now.
You need to ante up a little.
No, I don't. Why would I need to do that?
Whoa. I didn't know that would draw an additional card. I hate it here. I fucking hate it here.
Stand.
You hate it here, huh? You hate it
I
here.
hate.
What the
I
fuck?
hate-
What the fuck?
Why do I lose that time?
Oh, because they
Last
also
time it
got...
said I win.
I think it's because they also got jackpot? Something like that? I don't know.
That's crazy.
I don't know. Oh, baby, a triple!
Dev, if you get them for me, it doesn't count.
House gets
21.
blackjack.
But there was blackjack last time too, and I got.
And he
Was
got
it
that
not blackjack
one.
last time?
Did the house not? I think the house didn't get blackjack. You got blackjack, but the house didn't. If the house also gets blackjack, they win.
Or maybe they got. I don't know. I'm gonna stop guessing things.
I know it kind of sounds pathetic, but oh fuck, I'll hit.
Oh, looks like you
I
can
knew
go
it.
negative.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
You should give more than 10.
Why?
Because you won't win otherwise.
What do you mean?
I'm at 134.
I can understand what you're saying, but there's a high possibility I'm not winning at all.
Huh?
Yeah, I mean, I only give a little bit because what if I lose more and more every time?
Well, CPU 2 is at negative 61, and they were at negative 150 a second ago.
What the hell? How does CPU 1 get 150 just now? Okay, fine. I don't even know how many fucking rounds we have left.
Bye.
Fine. Thank you for lurk. Have a good work. That's a good one. Thank you for lurk. Have a good work. Fucking bitch. I hate this. Please bust.
Damn it!
I want them to bust.
Stand.
I'm standing here.
I busted.
Okay. Damn, lucky you, bitch.
Bye.
Nice, thank God.
Lucky me.
Yeah, lucky you. You busted, bro.
Hell yeah.
God, I wish that were me. Hello. How many rounds
true,
do
so
we have
true.
left?
This is round 8.
Okay. Playing it safe. Okay. Oh, that's okay. I mean, it's the CPU, so
Yeah.
it's fine.
Hit.
Wow. That's dangerous. I'm a stand, actually.
Stand.
Pro Axel.
Meh.
Hurtmer.
Meh.
Wow. Lucky,
Whoa.
lucky.
What do I do here?
Axel turned the hacks off for one round.
Fuck!
Damn. Unfort. It is not going well for me. One round. Wait, what the hell? Oh, fuck, I'm dumb. It's okay, I'll double down later. This is the last round, right?
This is round 9.
I'll... Oof. Oof. How much did
Okay.
you have? 15?
30.
No, but you had 10-5, right? 25 now, yeah.
Oh, yeah, 15.
Okay, sure.
Double down.
Ooh.
Damn. Everybody fucking lost. Hi, Kari. Hello. So close. Final
Okay.
round. Final round.
Here's what I'm gonna do.
You're gonna put in your full 2? Oh, that's insane.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I'm already losing.
All right. Real. So it's all upon this, huh? It's all upon this one, huh?
It sure is. We're ignoring the CPUs, probably,
We
I
are.
assume.
We are.
So,
Let's do it. It's all upon this one. We're betting it all. Betting
balls
it
to the
all.
wall, let's go! Wow.
You know, I think you could get it.
No, I think I'm good.
Oh my god. Nice. Woo! I win!
You do.
Yay!
Time
Out
for
of,
round 2.
what, like 5-6 games? I win.
Let me see here.
How many games did we play? Yeah, I won!
I feel like half the stream was us thinking.
I mean, yeah,
So-
yeah, how possible?
Yeah, so you won 5 games because I accidentally deleted the first one.
What?
At the top, up there.
Oh,
Remember the first game where you kicked my ass horribly at Mancala?
you deleted it?
It by accident. I
Damn.
pressed the wrong button.
Fucked up. All right, sick. I mean, you still on overall, but 5 out of 7, right? Or no? That you
7 to 5.
that sounds like you should have gotten more, dude.
We can fix that.
I'm confused. No. I mean, like, out of all the different games of our games of 3,
Uh-huh.
like, how many different games did we play? We played Mancala, Dots, Yachty, 4 in a row, Hit and Blow, and then
And then
Blackjack. So you won 4 of those games. I won 2. Okay. 50%. Woo! Oh my god. I don't know. His luck was too crazy today. Okay, but I do have to go. I'm
Accidentally.
starving, actually.
You know what?
I've
That's
not
fair.
eaten.
I should eat dinner.
I have not eaten. Yeah. No chess. Thank you so much, Axel. I appreciate it. Had fun.
Yes.
Even though I lost majority of the time, now we know you cheat. And that's
I
fine.
guess-
It's fine that you cheat, you know? Whatever.
I guess that's true.
Yeah, it's din time. I've not eaten today, so thank you very, very much. Everybody say bye, Axel. Bye, Axel.
Make sure you show up to Lily's final stream.
Yes, I have my final stream. I'm going on indefinite hiatus. I have my final stream on the 13th. It is going to be the best stream I've ever had in my life. You have to be there. Seriously, that's the only time where I'm like, you have to be there. Every other time I'm like, oh, you do your thing. No, you have to be in this one. Okay? So, goodbye, Axel.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. I know. End of an era, y'all. For real. Hello, Exo, my love. Hi, dear. Hi, honey. Yes, absolutely. See you on the 13th for sure. Okay? For sure. It's gonna be sweet. It's gonna be cute. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna cry. You're gonna cry. Seriously, it has drama, comedy, action. It's got it all. You guys, it's about to win a fucking Oscar. I know you don't know that, but I'm telling you right now, okay? It's a secret. I'm just letting you know right now, it's gonna win a fucking Oscar. Okay? That said, thank you so much. Let me go ahead and take you guys elsewhere. I believe it. No, you should. You should, because it's true. I would never lie to you. I've never lied to anybody ever in my entire life. I've never manipulated anybody for my gain multiple times. Okay? I got you. Let's go. Let's go check out a little sweetheart over here. I'm starving for real. My name is Lily Bell. I love to travel, but I suck at geography. I'll see you guys. And for sure, I'll see you guys on the 13th. Bye-bye now. Also, Solid Trash 420 is now boarding. Welcome to Lily Bell Air. Hope you have a safe and enjoyable flight.